On the subject of Sunny Skies All Day Long, the fan fiction. Okay, so this was a Celestia fan fiction, and it was excellent. It was so good that it could be an episode of the show, and a very good one at that. Um, it takes place during season one, or right after season one, either way. Celestia wants to be ordinary and just be friends, so Luna suggests to her to use a disguise to make herself look normal and to go to Ponyville. So Celestia disguises herself and she's Sunny Skies and she goes to Ponyville. And the first main six she meets is Rainbow Dash. And they end up flying for a while, and Celestia has some fun with her, and she crashes into a tree. And after that, she goes into town and she meets Twilight for a bit, and Twilight kind of recognizes her, but she doesn't really recognize her. And then Pinky comes out of nowhere and does her little thing, and Celestia knows that Pinky knows that it's her, so she kind of is like worried about it, and she's like, I have to go like do something else. And Twilight's like, if you need anything, come see me at the library. And Celestia goes and she meets Applejack and Big Mac, and they're stuck. They've got a cart stuck in the mud. They're trying to get it out, and Celestia helps them get it out, but she slams into a pile of mud and gets real dirty. And Applejack suggests to her to go to the spa because, to get clean. So Sunny Skies. So Celestia goes to the spa, and Rarity comes, and Rarity gets her really high quality stuff done, and Celestia gets a good massage and a good cleaning, and it's really nice. And Pinky meets them there, and Pinky takes Celestia, and she takes her to the party, of course, because Pinky always throws parties for new anything, including donkeys. So at the party, Celestia talks to Fluttershy, and it's really cool because for each main six, she accidentally kind of reveals something about herself that gives a hint that she is Celestia. For example, when she's talking to Rainbow Dash, she says that she saw the Wonderbolts in Canterlot like last week, and like the easiest way that would be is if she's a Celestia. But she ends up telling Rainbow Dash, "Oh, it's because my friend won tickets and like took me or whatever." But like, obviously that's not true. And then with Applejack, she says she gets really frustrated because Applejack is kind of like, you don't really do hard work, do you? And she gets mad because of her royal position and people looking down and thinking it's easy, or like what Luna does later. And then with Rarity, Rarity asks her what kind of like dress she likes, and she says like a really old designer, and Rarity is kind of like, oh, that's really old. And then Celestia's like, oh, well, I mean like a classical or whatever. And then with Fluttershy, she tells Fluttershy she's a storyteller, but she tells Fluttershy she's a storyteller because Twilight comes in, and then Fluttershy's like, oh, can you tell me a story? Because I like to tell stories to my animals. And then Celestia's like, oh no. She's like, I shouldn't have done that. So she tells her a story, and after the story is over or whatever, Fluttershy is like, you tell it so well, it's like you were actually there. And obviously she was actually there. And then I forgot what happened with Twilight. Twilight is in the main square, and then they're talking about... Twilight kind of just recognizes her to begin with, like a weird, like, oh, it's... But I'm sure there was a hint there, and a hint with Pinky, but those are the ones that I remember well. And then what happens is they all go to Twilight's library, And it's funny because because when they get there, Twilight. Oh, for a book. It's because Fluttershy tells, like, Twilight, do you have any books? Because Celestia tells Fluttershy that she's, like, a traveling, like, she likes to collect stories and she tells stories. And Twilight's like, sure. So they go to the library or whatever. And it's funny because Twilight's like, I can't find the book. Like, where is it, Spike? And Spike is like, I don't know, but you did have that copy in Canterlot at your old quarters. And Twilight's like, oh, she's like, that's right. She's like, well, we'll just get it sent here. Send a letter to the princess or whatever. So Spike's like, sure. And then, like, Celestia's, like, kind of not realizing it, but it's like, oh, no, Celestia, you dork, you better do something. And she's, like, not even really... I guess it doesn't matter because it's a double whammy, because what happens is Rarity is like, you must stop with these dusty old books or whatever. And, like, Twilight gets that spark of like, oh no, and she looks at Celestia, and Celestia's just like, oh no. And then, like, Celestia realizes, and she's like, oh no, the letter too. If he sends the letter to Princess Celestia, she's like, I'm Princess Celestia. So Twilight goes and gets like an old, like, a history book, and she looks at it, and she looks at Celestia, like a painting of Celestia from before, like, even like Discord happened or whatever, and it looks exactly like the disguise that Celestia used. And then Spike fires off the letter, and the letter flies out the window, and then it just flies right back in, and it lands like right at it lands right at the feet of Sunny. And, like, she's like sad because she's like, well, they realize it now, and, like, Twilight's already bowing, like, she's already face down on the floor. So Celestia just reveals herself, and everyone else bows except for Pinky. And it's funny because Pinky was like, you guys didn't know it was Princess Celestia? She's like, I knew it was the entire time. She just wants to have fun. So and Celestia laughs, and she's like, yes, Pinky knows exactly why I came here and stuff. And she's like, please don't. She's like, don't treat me like that. She's like, I just want to be friends. And, like, Rainbow Dash is like, I'm friends with the princess. And, like, Celestia's like, whoa, 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 whoa. She's like, you're friends with Sunny Skies. She's like, if you were friends with the princess, it'd be a lot more political, and I don't think you want that. So they're like, well, Pinky's like, well, we could keep your secret, like, if you just want to be Sunny Skies and hang out whenever. And Celestia's like, she's like, us, that's definitely what I want. So she, like, transforms back into Sunny Skies. And then Twilight is like, I didn't know this about you, Princess. And Princess is like, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. But yes, I do wish to have freedom sometimes. And it kind of ends there with Celestia being Sunny Skies. And, like, well, it doesn't end there. She goes out, and then she's talking with Luna in Canterlot again, and she's like, thank you so much, sister. And Luna's, like, going to sleep, and she's like, of course, Sunny. And, like, Celestia throws her pillow at her, and she runs. I really like how Luna and Celestia's relationship was portrayed in this one, especially from one season of information, because this was season 1, so it didn't even have Luna eclipsed to give, like, it didn't have her, like, royal we and stuff. But what was really cool was Celestia at the beginning is talking about she's like, really, banishment for taking my pet? Where would those ponies think, like, that I would banish somebody so simply? And, like, Luna gets kind of sad, and she looks at the ground, and Celestia walks up to her and lifts her muzzle, and she's like, sister, she's like, I banished Nightmare Moon. She's like, I didn't banish you, Luna. And it's like, yes, they're not the same. It's not the same. Thank you for pointing that out. It is kind of weird, though, in the story that, not weird, but I guess he didn't calculate that. He kept saying she was 1,000 years old, and it's like, well, no, she's clearly more than 1,000 years old, because 1,000 years from here back would put her at when she was already Alicorn powered and fighting against Nightmare Moon. And there had to be a time prior to that they were ruling Equestria together, and then there had to be time prior to that where Discord was ruling, and then there had to be time prior to that where they were, like, learning how to do things and stuff. So Depending on how long you look at certain things and how long stuff happened and how long Discord ruled and stuff, it'd be much longer than 1,000 years. But I still like to go with the fact that they're thousands and thousands of years, maybe like 3 to 5,000 years old. Um, but regardless, this story was excellent. Biased because it's Celestia, biased because it's fun, biased because it's happy, biased because it's uplifting, biased because it's the exact kind of story that I want to hear when I listen to fan fiction. Just 5 stars all over the place. I probably put this at number one on my list of one shots now. Number one would be Sunny Skies All Day Long. Number two would be her scarf fluttered in the absence of wind. And number three would be Naked Singularity. But yeah, just an amazing, perfect fan fiction. My only complaint, and it's not a complaint, it's just I would have liked more, would have been more stuff with Luna, but I loved it.